What we're going to look at next is the buyer journey stages. There's a reason that one of the biggest companies in the world, like Google, think like this. There's a reason why companies like Hubspot, one of the fastest growing companies in the world, think like this. And there's a very simple answer to that. It's because it works. It works, it works, it works. It really, really does. And before I actually went to work for Hubspot, I actually used to be a Hubspot client. And the very first time that I tried to implement inbound correctly, I did it horrifically. I didn't listen to them. I kind of did it my own way. I took use of some of the few tools, didn't pay that much attention to the methodology about the buyer personas, and it turned out half-assed. Of course it did. It did not work. The second time then when we said, okay, let's take it all back. Let's go from the start and rebuild the foundation of it. It was like magic, almost. It was just everything all of a sudden worked. Website visits went up. Conversions went up. Customer numbers went up. Everyone was happier with this. And what we realized that, again, going back to the slide I showed you earlier, perseverance really was key with it. So as a client of HubSpot, we at one stage had a blog, a single blog post, and this might be like if you think of it like the music industry, okay? So you're an up-and-coming band, and you're knocking out songs, and you're releasing them left, right, and center, and next thing, one thing clicks, and you go right to the top. We had one blog as a client that's now worth $3.5 million in business to us and growing. It can be incredible if you stick to the principles and get it right. So the buyer's journey is the journey of a persona with a business, okay? So their actual journey through their experience with you from the first time they meet you to the first time they interact with your website, with you as a person, or with any of your content, to the point at which they buy from you, and then their experience of that product or service thereafter, okay? So if we think about owner Ollie and the way we need to start to think, so what's important here is to think about content in this way, okay? So this is owner Ollie. So he's another one of our personas. Again, he's a business owner who we would sell directly to, so one of our three. So in the awareness stage, if you think about the sort of content we're going to build for him, Ollie has expressed symptoms of a problem or an opportunity, okay? So your content there is generally your blogs about what his problems are, again, linking it back to the personas, fully understanding that. In the consideration stage, Ollie has defined what the problem is based on the information he's got on your blog, and he's defined the problem or the opportunity, okay? So he now knows that he has a specific issue around a problem, and what he's now looking for is different types of solution for it. So say, for instance, Ollie had put in, let's take a very simple example. Ollie had put in, I'm having issues driving traffic to my website, okay? So he went and he read a HubSpot blog on the reasons why your traffic may be low. So we call it poor SEO. So they had no SEO, they just lashed up a website, didn't really care about it. Now Ollie knows what his problem is. So the next part of it is he's looking for a solution to that problem. So what's his solution going to be? Okay, so now he knows that he needs to do things like blogging. He needs to do things like AdWords. He needs to do things like social media, okay? So now he's identified, okay, these are the different solutions to his problem, and we're showing him content based on this. In the decision stage, he's decided, okay, what I'm going to do is put together a digital marketing strategy. So I'm going to put something that has search engine optimization, that has content creation, and that has a social media strategy behind it. And I've decided exactly that that's what it is that I'm going to do. So what we do is ensure that we build content that lines up with the different stages that he's in. So when you're putting your content strategy together for your company, always have the problems listed out what they're going to be, and what you want to do is out on a whiteboard or whatever way you want to do it, write awareness, consideration, and decision, and know what goes in here, what goes in here, and what goes in here, okay? So again, the tools that we use within HubSpot, very specific again to each stage, okay? So in the awareness stage, we will use things like ebooks, trend reports, guides, checklists, white papers, all these sort of things, and very particularly our blog would be one of our big awareness tools, okay? From a consideration perspective, then they want to understand things like calculators. Templates is a really, really big one, okay, in the consideration stage. So if you're selling to a client, dealing with a client, and what you're doing is providing them, here's a template to build out your social media strategy. Here's a template to do SEO. Here's a template to think about keyword optimization. These things work really, really well in the consideration stage. And then from a decision stage perspective, the sort of things that you want to have in there and the assets you want to have within your company are product videos, demos, very big one, testimonials, huge, FAQs, and one that's actually not there is always, depending if you're a service-based company, is free consultations, okay? Very, very important for that end of the decision stage, okay? So I suppose what we want to think about is, what's the relevance to the buyer journey nowadays? Why it's important, again, is to reiterate this point about before, the way people used to receive information was off your Don Draper type who thought up a really cool idea about how he was going to sell you some form of whiskey or vodka or whatever it is he's trying to flog. He gives you the information, you think it's cool, so you accept it. The difference between that and what we want to do and the way consumers buy today is it's much more of a Sherlock Holmes approach. Do you have the solutions available online for them to find your company? Then, when they get there, is that solution correct? Does it fit with them? Have you nurtured them? Are you bringing to them a point where they want to have a conversation with you? So, again, what we want to think about is it's all about the funnel, okay? All about bringing people through this methodology, from a stranger to a visitor, to a lead, to a customer, to a promoter. And we live this every single day in HubSpot. We drink our own Kool-Aid, and it really does work for us.